What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm down at Lake Norman Hyundai getting to check out the 2021 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy. Huge shout out to them for providing this SUV for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. That will be down in the description below. This model here is finished off in Beckett Black and it has an MSRP just over $48,000. Let's go ahead and start off today's review by jumping up underneath the hood, where you'll find the 3.8 liter V6 engine. This is paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 291 horsepower around 6,000 RPM and 262 pound-feet of torque around 5,200 RPM. This model is front-wheel drive. It weighs in right around 4,200 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 7 seconds, up to its top speed of 130 miles an hour. And with an 18.8 gallon fuel tank, you can expect to see around 19 miles per gallon in the city and 26 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 114.2 inches. Its overall length is 196.1. It has a width of 77.8, a height of 68.9 inches, and ground clearance measures in just under 8 inches. With all those specs out of the way, we can go ahead and take a look at the exterior on the Hyundai Palisade now. So I'm going to start off with this trim that you see surrounding the grille. It's also in the lower section of the bumper. I think it gives it a really nice contrast against this black, and you can see that color also extends to the pattern running throughout the mesh. This also has a forward-facing camera that's nicely integrated up underneath the Hyundai badge, and you can see all the cutouts that provide maximum cooling to that engine. As we make our way to these sides now, you'll see the upper housings are for the turn signals. They have a really nice sleek design to them, and then you can see the vertical DRL. So that starts up in the turn signal area. You can see a little piece just underneath that, surrounded with more bodywork. And then in the lower section, we have the headlights. Of course, those are LEDs as well, but it's really nice to see that vertical DRL. Really nice design feature for this model. And then just underneath that, you'll see there's more mesh in the lower section of the bumper, along with a forward-facing sensor. And as we work our way up to the hood, you'll see there's very clean lines running down both sides. Making our way to the side profile now for the Palisade, I'm gonna start off with these wheels. They measure 20 inches. You can see they have a two-tone design to them, along with a squarish shape for all of these spokes. I think it's a really nice design for this model. You'll also notice this has body-colored side mirrors. They feature the integrated turn signal. They're power folding and heated as well. And you'll also notice more of that same color trim that you saw on the front end extends to the roof rails up top, where this also has a sunroof. You'll see more of that trim surrounding the lower section of the windows, and it's also down in the lower side skirts. And there's also some really nice contoured lines running down the side profile. You'll see one that starts by the front fender flares, it goes underneath those side mirrors, and then all the way to the taillights in the rear. And you'll also notice the lines that go around the fender flares as well, just to give it that added aggressive look. And finishing up in the rear, this has a body-colored spoiler with the integrated third brake light. You'll see it also has LED taillights, along with more of that trim on both sides of the power liftgate. So it's a really nice touch to see. This also has a backup camera right in the center, along with all of the parking sensors in the lower diffuser. You'll also notice down there we have more of that trim, which is great to see, along with the dual exhaust, and this has a towing capacity up to 5,000 pounds. Now it's time to go ahead and take a look at the interior on the Hyundai Palisade. Before we do that though, I'm gonna go ahead and lock the vehicle. If you hold on this button here, this has remote start, which is a really nice feature to see, and it works first try every time. If you hold on that button again, you can shut it off if you'd like to. But now with the vehicle locked and the key in my pocket, all I have to do is push on this square-shaped button on the back side of the door handle, and that will automatically unlock the door, where we can go ahead and take a look at this beautiful door panel. You'll see black leather with a really intricate pattern running on the insert in the back, along with a trim piece just above that. We have the release handle, along with the memory seating adjustments. You can see all the window and side mirror controls finished off with a really nice material. We also have the grab handle just on the back side of the armrest. This also has a 12-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, and you can see a good amount of storage space in the lower section of the door. Now moving to the interior, you'll see Palisade down on the door sill, and we can go ahead and move on to these black leather seats. You can see the gray piping along with black stitching. They are heated and ventilated seats, have a really nice design and good bolstering support as well. And then down on the sides, we have all of the automatic controls. And now once inside with my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and start it up. Where you'll see on the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, over on the left side is the fuel gauge and the miles per hour. On the right side is the tach and the engine temperature. And then right in the center, you have a lot of information to go through. Currently, you can see the average MPG. We can scroll down and look at that again, along with trip information. There's also the attention level. You can look at TPMS, along with the different driving modes. So right now it's in Smart Eco. You can also go into Eco mode. You'll see the gauge cluster change as well depending on the mode that you're in. We can go into Comfort mode, and then the last is Sport mode, where everything will change red, and you can see it just gets a little bit more aggressive. And then as we make our way to the steering wheel, you'll see it's completely covered in leather. It's solid on the top and the bottom and perforated on the sides. Over on the right side, these are the controls I was using for that center gauge cluster. You can also push on this button here to look at your distance pacing. If you push on it again, that will pull up the compass, and then we are back to the different driving modes there. You also have your cruise and adaptive cruise control settings, and then over on the left side is all of the Bluetooth and voice commands, along with volume and tuning for the radio. This model also has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, and you can see they are finished off to match the steering wheel, which is nice to see. As we make our way to the left side of the steering wheel, we have the electronic parking brake, along with being able to open and close the power liftgate. You can see traction control, along with the lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and a dimmer switch for the gauges. You'll also notice there is one air vent. And then as we make our way to the center 10.2-inch screen, there's a lot of information that we can go through. Currently, you can see it's on the menu right now. So we have the navigation along with radio and the outside temperature, like the map. So we can go ahead and pull that up in full screen. If I click on this home button in the upper left, we are back to this screen here. And then we can swipe over and look at your passenger talk, your radio, your phone, your media. Passenger talk is really cool. So you can click on this and you guys will be able to hear me from the third row. So if you need to use that for your third row passengers, that's a really cool feature so they can hear you more clearly. And then you can see we can swipe one more over. We have the rear climate controls along with setup and a quiet mode as well. So you have a lot of information that you can go through and quickly get to. So that's nice to see. You'll notice there are two air vents underneath that, and then a really nice row of toggle switches just underneath that, finished off in aluminum. So we have shortcuts to the map and navigation, along with radio and media. You have a customizable button along with setup. Power and volume for the radios on the left side, and then tuning is on the right side. So if you want to use those buttons, you can do that instead of using the screen. Either way, it's a really nice setup. And then just underneath that, we have an LCD screen for the climate control. So if I just click on the fan speed there, we can go ahead and turn that up or down. This does have dual zones, so you can control each one individually or sync them, of course. And we also have the rear passenger controls that you can access from here too. So just by clicking on that, you will also see it appear in the upper screen. Just underneath that, you'll see all of the buttons for park, reverse, neutral, and drive. So with my foot on the brake, if we put it into reverse, you'll see the backup camera appear with the top-down view on the right side. We can also go into different angles. So if you're backing up to a trailer, you have that view. You have the camera angle as well, just to give you a little bit more visibility. And you can also control the brightness and some other settings. If I go ahead and put the vehicle into drive, now we have the forward-facing camera. So you can use those guidelines if you're pulling into the car wash or into a parking space. We also have a little bit different of an angle, along with being able to use these side cameras as well. So definitely plenty of visibility around this entire vehicle. And then we can go ahead and put the vehicle into park. You'll see auto hold just next to that, and then this dial was for the different driving modes that I was showing earlier. You'll see on the right side of that, we can turn on and off the parking sensors, along with the engine start stop feature, and a shortcut to the camera system. So you can click on that and quickly pull up the cameras. We also have the heated and ventilated seat controls, along with the heated steering wheel. And you'll notice there's a really nice trim piece surrounding all of those controls, all the way to this tray just behind it. So if I go ahead and push on this handle here, you'll see it will automatically open up, where you'll see a wireless charging pad on the left side, along with a USB port, and then cup holders on the right. Right now you can see they're actually hidden away to give you more storage space, but if you push on this button here, they automatically appear. And if you don't need them anymore, you can just push them and lock them back into place, and now you have access to more storage space, and you can also close this up. Working our way to the center armrest now, it's covered in leather and stitching. You can see there's a 12 volt along with a USB port down on the bottom side, and a good amount of storage space along with a removable tray on the back side. As we make our way to the glove box now, you can see there's a lot of room for all your documents that have to go there. We'll go ahead and take one last look at these seats. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this does have a sunroof for the front passengers, so we can go ahead and open up that sunshade. And we have all those controls right in the center for your tilt along with your dome lights. And you can see this button says rear on it. You can actually open and close the rear sunshade for your backseat passengers, which is a really nice touch to see. This also has all the dome lights as well. And by opening this compartment here, you can see this wide angle rear facing mirror, so you can see all the way into the third row if you need to. Hopping into the second row now for the Hyundai Palisade, you can see there are 2 captain's chairs for this middle row. So this has the 7-seat configuration, and you have a ton of space. These seats slide forwards and backwards, and they recline too. So if you want a little bit more comfort, you can go all the way back, and it's really roomy for me. Even at 5'10", we have this adjustable armrest that we can pull down. I have plenty of room in front of my knees for the seat set at my height, and about 4, 5, 6 inches above my head. You have all of your climate controls right in the center, along with the heated and ventilated seats. Yes, that's right. For the second row in the Hyundai Palisade, we have heated and ventilated seats. You have the fan speed where you'd like the air to go, along with a 3-prong outlet and a 12 volt. So you have a lot of amenities for your middle row passengers, along with a little bit of storage space behind both front seats. You'll also notice we have this manual adjusting sunshade that you can lock into place if you'd like to use it, and then 2 cup holders in the door, so that's great to see. And then we can go ahead and work our way to the third row. It's very easy to do that. You can use the recline lever on the side if you'd like to fold this seat completely flat, but in order to get into the third row, you can either push a button on the side of the seat or up by the headrest, and it will automatically slide the seat forward, giving you plenty of access into this third row. Where you'll see at 5'10", I have about 2 or 3 inches above my head and plenty of room for my legs with the seat all the way back. So you can fit full-size adults back here, which is really nice to see. And you can even recline and incline these seats automatic just by using these buttons on the side here, both on the driver and passenger side. And there's also a USB port on both sides, so you can charge electronics from the third row. And last up, we'll go ahead and take a look at the rear storage space. So I'm just gonna use the button up underneath the Hyundai logo, and the power liftgate will automatically open up. And you'll see there's a good amount of storage space with the third row up, so you can fit your items back here if you need to easily. And then what I love about the second and third row, you can actually control them from buttons on the driver's side. So if I just push on the bottom buttons, you'll see the third row automatically fold down, giving you a lot more storage space. So if you need to use them like that, you can. And then you can also push on the top 2 buttons and fold down the backrest for the second row. And you'll see there's a lot of storage space with all of those folded down for anything that you need to place in the back. And then being the power liftgate, we can just push this button on the top and it will automatically close. All right, so getting the 2021 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy out on the road now. A few things that I forgot to mention in this review. One is that this model has the heads-up display. So I'm looking at my miles per hour right now, along with the lane keeping assist. And the second thing is the amount of storage space that you have for your front seat passengers. What I forgot to mention is the fact that there's actually a hidden compartment up underneath all of these controls in the center. There's a few auxiliaries down there, so you can hide away some electronics and be able to charge them and have them down in this tray. So there are sides to it, so nothing is going to slide out or around, which is a really nice touch to see. And as I've already shown in today's video, you have a ton of room in this model. A full 3-row vehicle. You can put 7 full-size adults in here if you really needed to. That third row is incredibly spacious. I could be back there for quite some time, so I really like the amount of room that you have. And just driving this so far, I have it in comfort mode right now, and as you would expect, it's a comfortable ride. This would be a great daily driver if you need something to haul around a lot of people. You have multiple kids, you're going from point A to point B, and you need this room. There's definitely a lot of room, and it's a very nice interior. So if you're driving this every day, you won't be disappointed. We have leather, we have the heated and ventilated seats, really nice design running in the door panel, and you have a lot of technology for this model. So we have this center screen here that's nicely integrated into this surround, and it kind of goes around the gauge cluster, so it's nicely integrated together. You have a really nice layout for all these controls right in the middle, and it's just a really nice ride. So let's go ahead, we're gonna pop it into sport mode right now, just give it a little bit of gas. Nothing crazy, but we are up to the speed limit for this road right now. I don't see any issues with merging, getting onto the highway, traffic situations like that, especially in normal and comfort mode. This definitely has enough horsepower for the weight of it as well. And the shifts are actually pretty responsive, even in sport mode here. So if you want to use them and have a little bit more of a fun factor in your Hyundai. But let's go ahead and talk about visibility. For a full 3-row vehicle, it's actually really easy to see all around. The glass is very large, so you can look over both shoulders and you just have an ample amount of visibility so you can see in all directions, and then with that camera system, as I just mentioned. But aside from that, this is a really nice SUV. And one thing that I just noticed too, putting on my turn signal, you'll actually see the gauge clusters turn into the side mirror camera. So by putting on my left turn signal, you'll see on that side, putting on your right turn signal, you can actually see the passenger tire from this angle on both sides, which again just adds to the overall visibility of driving this. If you're merging on the highway or something like that, if there is a blind spot for you, well, there is no more blind spot now with the amount of cameras that this car has. It's just a really nice added touch to an SUV like this, and the fact that you can tow up to 5,000 pounds is pretty healthy for a vehicle like this. So it's a very versatile SUV all around. You can haul the kids, you can haul a trailer with some items if you need to, and it's very practical for a daily driver. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of the 2021 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy. Once again, massive shout out to Lake Norman Hyundai for providing this SUV for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. That will be down in the description below. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on our daily uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video.